So I got the glove box lid out. Got all the screws out. Only had to cut one screw out, which was this one. It was pretty frozen. I ground out the studs. I gotta punch out the bolt, but that's where the radio mounted. That switch was probably not factory. I don't know what was added to it. There's another switch. Actually, it kind of looks like a relay plug. It's plastic, which for 1935 probably isn't stock. It was added, so I ground that screw out. As far as the dash goes, I think that's pretty much everything except for this starter button. It's kind of funny. They say that everything is old becomes new again. I know that when I was after I started driving in the late 90s, it became a thing with starter buttons, and now like new cars come with a start button, like you put your key in. Well, in your 20s and 30s, we had a button. So you put your key in, and then you push the button to start. So maybe it took 80 years or 70 years or so, and starter button came back. Well, that's the starter button. So I pretty much got the dash cleared out. So I'm gonna start. All I've got left on the cab is the hinges, which are pretty seized up. Like everything else, I've been soaking in some PB Blaster or the like. Where is it? I'm hoping this will do it. This tool here is an impact screwdriver. It's a Craftsman. I've had it for years and years. I've got a couple of bits for it. You take the bit out. I mean, this is a flathead. I've got a number of different Phillips and flathead bits for it, but you hit it with a hammer. This is probably one of the greatest tools for frozen Phillips or flathead screws. As long as you've got something solid to hit it against. Normally you can break some stuff apart with it. You just hit the hammer on that end. I'm hoping that these will break loose, because I can't really get in on the back side of those. I mean, even if I ground it out, I'm hoping I can get these bolts out that way, instead of drilling them out and then trying to retap those. Maybe this tool here will do some work this time. So I've got 3, 4, 5, 11 more bolts left on the cab. That's it. We'll start blasting. Let's see, tomorrow's Thursday. Today it's in the 20s. Snow is still sitting outside in the parking lot. Tomorrow, I think it's supposed to be in the 40s. So maybe in the next hour or so, I'll be able to get the rest of these bolts out, and tomorrow I can start blasting again. Because that's all the cab needs. Once I finish that, I need to go pick up some rocker panels and some cow patch panels. I'm not skilled enough to make this complex U shape that's bent, and I don't even have an English wheel, so I couldn't even try to do it. But I don't even know if you can do that with an English wheel. Cow patch panels, I'd rather get, I mean, even though what's above the bead is okay, I'd rather just get some die stamped pieces. I may salvage everything below the bead or cut just above the bead and patch in, because the bead's going to give you the most strength along that weld. The inner kick panels, those are pretty simple shapes to make. I mean, they're not like, I mean, there's no beads like this, or complex shapes. That's just a couple right angles there, so I can make that myself. The cab corners, this side, it's got some pits in it. I mean, I could patch that. I may just get a pair of cab corners and then just weld in the patch on both sides. The bottom of the cab, like where you can see through the bead, the bead's pretty much gone. So I'm going to get a patch panel for that as well. This is just surface rust here on the back of the cab, so I can blast that. I think that's pretty much showing everything I got to do to the cab. It's probably 40 or 50% stripped already. Other than what I said, or what I've shown, I mean, it's pretty solid cab. Getting in these rain channels is kind of a pain. It's hard to get a blaster in that to clean it all. I can get probably 40% of that. And maybe come in with some wire wheels on. Even a wire wheel is going to be hard to get in that convex curve on the inside of that rain channel. Maybe I have to get some wire wheels for a Dremel on a really short radius, like a 1/2 inch wheel or something like that, to get inside all that. Up under the cab, you can see there's surface rust under here. This is why it has to be stripped out completely. That way I can get up and all of that with a blaster, clean that surface rust out. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do with that flange that's around that cowl vent. I'm hoping that once I clean out all these channels here, I'll find some spot welds that I can drill out. I don't want to just start cutting everything, but if I can find the spot welds, that'd be ideal. That way I can just drop that channel out, blast the backside, and then put it all back together. So that's we're sitting at the cab. I mean, it's almost it's almost completely stripped down. I guess and show I got a nice little stack of sheet metal. So I mean, some of this is pretty thick. Some of it is just sheet metal. So we got different gauges there, but I mean that's a bunch sheet metal. I've got some thicker stuff laying around. There's a couple other 4x8 sheets. And this is more. I mean, that's